My name is Jesse Reichler, and today I'm going to give you the second tutorial on using the New York Noir online map and search tools. This one will focus on some of the advanced features. Hopefully you've watched the first video giving you a introductory overview of the tools. Today we're going to look at the advanced features. Okay, so just your reminder, here's our map of New York Noir. In the sidebar, I have my various search tabs. And in the overview, I showed you what the advanced search tab looks like by default. It's disabled with a little warning that if you're a player and you use this feature, you're basically cheating. But we're going to go ahead and enable it here. This is mainly for authors, but it's sort of an advanced, powerful feature. Okay, so we're going to go to the options and we're going to go on the authors tab, and we're going to enable both of these things. First, to enable the advanced search tab, and then to enable the display of extra category information on results. So I'm going to save that, and you'll see we have the advanced tab is now active with a little reminder that it would be cheating if you're a player and you use it. Let me show you the category information that I just enabled first, though. If I search for Brown, what you'll see here in the upper right is the exact category of each business and the ethnicity of the people in the results here. So, okay, so there you have it. That's information that normally a player wouldn't have access to, but we've got access to it now. All right, now the advanced search tab. So with the white page search tab, I search for Brown and we get all people whose names begin with Brown, their surnames, their last names begin with Brown, or businesses that begin with Brown in the white pages, all alphabetical. If we search for a first name, for example, like this, you'll notice no results. There are people with the first name of Jesse in Manhattan, but they won't show up in the white pages. They won't show up in the yellow pages. So there's no way, just like in a real phone directory, there's no way to search by first name. But in the advanced directory, all bets are off. So anything I type, it's going to look for results anywhere in the name or address or category. So here we see a whole bunch of people whose first names are Jesse. If I search for Brown, we would get all the normal results that we got in the white pages, but also we might get some people whose names don't start with the word Brown, like C.H. Brown Company or Cross and Brown Company Realty. We can also search, anything we search for is also going to search addresses. So if I type Broadway, what we see is people and businesses along Broadway. Here's Main Broadway, I got East Broadway, and only showing partial results here. You could search for anything here. You could search for categories. So if I type banks, what we get here is all the banks. Again, you could search for it normally in the yellow pages by looking for banks. In the advanced tab here, we're getting all the banks plus all people who, here's Constance Banks. Banks is her last name. I believe if I type multiple words, it's going to look for people that match both. So here's Banks and Constance. If I type Banks Broadway, we'll get Banks on Broadway and Gill Banks Flower Shop. Okay, so that's the first thing that the advanced search does. It lets you quickly type in keywords, substrings, and it looks for matches anywhere, and multiple words give you multiple matches. There is, however, a whole complicated syntax if you want to do more advanced stuff. So let me just show you that. Let's go to the help and look at the help for advanced search. It's pretty involved here. It's a reminder of, first it gives you a list of all the database fields, special directives to randomize the results, a reminder that you can use and or and parentheses, and here's a bunch of sample things. For example, here, let's click this one here. Contains GV, EV, LE in the region. So if I click this, what we get is all people and places in the Greenwich Village, East Village, and Lower East Side neighborhoods. Let's take a look at some more examples here. We can find everything within 50 feet of a subway using this function near PCAT. We can say find all residences of duplexes. If I click that, here we go. These are all people living in duplexes. And you can combine all of these things with ands and ors, etc. You can search for people by their ethnicity. You can search for all people who have unlisted addresses. Here are people that aren't on the map but are in the database, but their directory is not listed. Here's a list of the customized functions you can use. You can restrict your searches to your bookmarks or places near your bookmarks or near your anchor, etc. Here is a list of the neighborhood codes and what neighborhoods adjoin each other. Here's a list of the category fields you might use in an advanced query. And of course, once you do a query, let's see, if we cared about unlisted and wanted to do that often, but we're going to forget about it, we could click here and save the current search, and then it's in our saved search list. We could also go to our history and looked at, okay, remember when we found all people within these neighborhoods? That's something I want to be able to remember to do, so I could click on this and save that search. Or banks on Broadway, save that search, and then they're here in the saved searches. So here's banks on Broadway. Here was people in these three neighborhoods, etc. So that's how you use the advanced search, and you can craft very complicated expressions here. It's all done locally in your browser, by the way. But there's another feature. So you saw how there's a lot to remember with this advanced search, including all the different kinds of categories, all the neighborhoods, and all of the advanced functions. But one nice thing with all the AI today is we can go and we can say, visit Notebook LM, which is a Google service. But here is a notebook that's been pre-set up with all of that help instructions on how to build searches. So if I click on this, let's see if this works here. Okay, so here is a notebook already built with all the instructions. So I could type something like, find all Italian ethnic people who live in duplexes. So I could just type a natural English request, hit enter, and let's see if it works. So it's going to try to build the search query, and here it is. It knows the functions that are available. It knows how to do this, and then an explanation. So I'm just going to select this, copy it, and then go paste it into an advanced search. And here are all the Italians that live in duplexes. So you can use this search, this feature, to help you conduct advanced searches. So how about, let's see, what if we said like, find people who live in duplexes, in apartments, who live within 200 feet of a subway station. Okay, so here is the query. How about, let's try, maybe we can, well, let's take a look at it and make sure it works. Okay. Okay, so 234 people live in an apartment that's near a subway station. Here you can see they're here. All these people live in this apartment building near this subway station. And here's another apartment building near a subway station. And this one feels like these people don't live that near a subway station. Is it this subway station they live near? How far away is that? Is that an error? Is there a subway here? I wonder if it thinks it's this subway station. We could check, by the way, if you wanted to check, just as a little diversion. If I click on this block, and then I click the subway and make it an anchor, then I could click over here and see how far away these people from this anchor, 430 feet. So they are not within 200 feet of this subway station. 609 feet. I wonder if it was triggering on this bus station. All right, well, regardless, that's something for me to investigate. It may be, I don't know. Let me not hypothesize why it thinks those people live near a subway. I think it's thinking these buses are subways because of the category includes subway and bus and buses. Okay, I'll leave that for another day. So there you have it, advanced queries and how to help build them. Let's look at another feature. I showed you the anchor. So if this was, say, the subway was the scene of a murder. So we've clicked on this subway. We're going to make it the anchor. I've showed you how future searches now list distance from the anchor. So Elizabeth lives 500 feet from the anchor here. Okay, so we can do a couple other things. So this is Central Harlem. Let me just go ahead and highlight Central Harlem. All right, so now I've anchored this subway station. No matter what tab I switch to, another advantage of the anchor is it's always shown on every tab. No matter what tab you're in, we're going to see that anchor. Now let's go to the yellow pages. And let's find, for example, restaurants. Okay, so here we have restaurants all over the city, all over Manhattan. I'm going to go ahead and bring this into the advanced search tab by saying make advanced search. Okay, so I'm now showing all restaurants in the advanced tab. They're all shown distance from the anchor, but I want you to see now that we have a couple more options here. The first option here says filter by selected neighborhood. So here is all of the restaurants in the city. And when I've got a neighborhood selected and I click this, now it's only showing me the neighborhoods in Central Harlem. The other thing I can now enable is sort by distance. So here we have the closest restaurant to our murder scene, which is Chez Florence, 2,400 feet, and then the next one is 2,500 feet, and then half a mile and half a mile. I could click these. In fact, let's now zoom into all of these. As I scroll down, we can see them. So if I don't filter by neighborhood, but I still sort from distance, here are all the restaurants in the city sorted by distance from this subway. So Chez Florence is the closest, and then we have this restaurant, this one, then we start to get further out from the restaurant. So maybe you are writing a case and you want the killer to be located near this subway, and you figure they were eating somewhere nearby. This might be the kind of search and the kind of sorting you might do to help you figure that out. So that's the anchor. And the last thing I wanted to show you in this tutorial for advanced features is let's click on the subway, turn off the anchor, go back to reverse directory and just look at a couple places here. Okay, so here's a block, a bunch of people living in duplexes and some businesses, the Regent Theater. All right, so I've showed you already how you can bookmark a place. So this is bookmarked. Here it is in our bookmarks. If I switch to the white pages, it's gone. But normally what I do is on this overlay, I tell it to always show me overlaid the bookmarks, no matter what tab I'm on. So now, no matter what tab I'm on, here I see my bookmarks in a faded out representation. So I'll remember here, maybe this is where my killer works at the Regent Theater. So while I'm looking for other things, like where would he eat, I've got my bookmark to remind me this is where he lives. And you could go one step further. So there's our bookmark of the Regent Theater. We can delete that bookmark, but we can also click on it and click this pencil and customize it. So I could say this is the killer's work. And I could, if I just, unfortunately, this is a little bit off screen for me. So you can't see, but I could add notes here, like my killer works here during the day. 9 a.m., 5 p.m. So you can leave notes for yourself. You can't see the save button here, but I'm just going to save it here. Now notice that it's added my custom label here. And it'll add it no matter how you find it. So if I search for Regent here, here's the Regent Theater. There's my note about the killer's work. This is persistent. So if I close this browser and come back another day, it'll remember that. You can also do other things. We can edit this bookmark and say, customize the appearance, show a call out. That's going to put this label on the map. We can say, okay, let's use this icon in maybe a nice bright red and make it a little bit bigger. So if we save this, what we see is now on the map is that bookmark shown with a custom icon and custom text. This will just make it a little bit easier when I go searching around for neighborhoods for me to see, oh yeah, okay, that's where I put the killer. So there you have it. Those are what I would consider the advanced features of the casebook map search tools for New York Noir. On a subsequent video, I will go into a little bit more detail about how you can use some special features of the tool to play test a case, and we'll do that next.